Okay, on to the next Skip the Line reaction. And yes, we have more Alter Bridge, man. I think this one is actually the last for the day. I don't think it's the last for this week. I think we do have a few more that has been requested once again by Sammy, man. He's brought you guys so many over here. And yeah, we really appreciate that. And your message over here is very simple. More awesome Alter Bridge, man. The ones we've reacted to today have been absolutely epic. Epic, right? All three of them have been fantastic. Two of them for me were absolute standouts. So, Slip to the Void by Alter Bridge, man. Let's see what we got. Let's go.
Slip to the void, to the dark, to the fall. Crawl to the life you shouldn't know. You should never come this way to test the hands of fate. You don't belong here. Peel back the skin, close your eyes. Hell is born to the abyss, but be warned. You feel what you've become. My God, what have you done? You don't belong here.
Almost feels like it's a song about losing faith over here. Almost losing faith in God.
What have you done? You don't belong here. But it's all in the way you touch and you obey.
That is a very powerful line, but it's all in the way, because this is exactly, that's literally hitting the nail on the head over here. But it's all in the way you touch and you obey. That's denial, right? It's what you deny that can actually fundamentally shape you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Again, I think this is a song of faith in actually losing faith to a certain degree, or losing a belief to a certain degree. And a lot of people can be brought to that, you know, based on circumstances in their life. And you know, you're going to get the people that are going to push the religious ideologies on you, where they're going to push the Bible on you. They're going to push the existence of a God on you, and whether you believe in that or not, that's completely and entirely up to you. But I will say again that, you know, we don't need more people believing in a God. We need more people believing. We don't need more people believing in a God. We need more people acting as if one exists, regardless if he does or doesn't exist at the end of the day, right? You need a sense of morality. You need a fundamental hope structure, a hope system within you, a system of faith that keeps you in line to a set of values and to a set of moralities. And I'll give you an example of that. Let's say there's a shipwreck and there's two people that survive the shipwreck and they swim to two opposite islands. On one island, you've got a whole bunch of people who are completely atheistic and savages. And on the other island, you've got a whole bunch of people who believe in God and who believe that murdering people is wrong. Right? The purple on the island of the atheists, he's going to get slaughtered and gutted because there's no belief system over there. But then on the other side of the island, those people aren't going to kill you because they believe it's wrong. Whether God exists or not, God saved you. Right? It's not about God actually saved you. It's the idea of it is what can be the real fundamental difference in someone's life. Right? So even on that island, right, whether God exists or doesn't exist, the fact that they believed that it is wrong to kill somebody because a God says it is, right, actually changed your life. It actually saved you, right? In turn, God saved you, right? So it's basically how you look at it. And that's, you know, people go in and out and through their days. And I don't believe that there's atheists to a certain degree. I mean, everybody believes in something. Something is God to somebody. Whether it be money, whether it be materialistic stuff, someone's going to make God out of something, because if they don't have something that they believe in, there really is no meaning to their existence at the end of the day. right? They're going to believe in something. They're going to believe that, okay, well, if I make hordes amounts of money and, the man with the most toys wins, that's a religion. That's a religion that you follow by, right? Whether it's a meaningful one or not a meaningful one, it's still a belief system at the end of the day. So no one's really atheistic in that sense, right? So, yeah, anyway, Karen.
But it's all in the way you touch and you obey denial. But it's all in the way you touch and you obey denial.
I love the way he's delivering this though. It's dark. Setting in.
But it's all in the way you turn your back today. Left to face this alone. Left to die with nothing you can hold. Left to break in the cold. In the void that you made.
I love that, left to break in the cold, in the void that you made the moment you let love go. That's a very, very fire line. We live in a dark world at the end of the day, and whether you believe in, if you believe in a higher power or not, or whatever it is, like I said, whatever belief, the best religion in the world is whatever you believe in at the end of the day. But the one thing that is 100% true is that the best thing the devil has ever done is convince humanity that he isn't real. And it's dangerous because the idea of not believing in a God is dangerous because it goes part and parcel with the idea of not believing in a devil. And the devil itself, if you actually think that there's a hell with a devil that you're going to burn, you don't have to believe in that. But the idea that you think, well, no, God and the devil doesn't exist is less about believing, is less egregious than feeling like there's no God. But feeling like there's no devil, really? Have you seen the world? Do you think there isn't a devil at play here? You think the devil doesn't exist? To actually sit there and say that, well, no, the devil doesn't exist. Well, maybe you should ask an addict. Maybe you should ask a heroin addict. Maybe you should ask an alcoholic, right? That knows that every day that goes by, he knows fundamentally, like he knows subconsciously that he shouldn't be doing those things, but he can't but help himself do that because it feels too good to be in that state. Whose work do you think is that? Do you think that is the work of something pure and godly, or do you think that is the work of something nefarious and evil? Right? So the idea that that the devil doesn't exist is actually far more dangerous than the idea of believing that there's no God that exists, because then there's nothing you really stand for, right? You're just lost sitting there in the void. And, an idle mind is going to be the devil's playground to a certain degree. And whether it's the devil himself, it doesn't actually matter. It can be the devil within you that can make life very, very, very dark for you at the end of the day. So I've always really liked that line, and it's a really great line to introspect on. The greatest thing that the devil ever did was to convince humanity that he isn't real. Do you know what I mean? Because that's when you land up in his playground. I like that. Let's go. Because the tallest trees always fall the hardest. And that's just, it is a reality of life. The higher we rise, the more we are detached from the earth or from the ground, which means that we're now in a state of bliss where we're not grounded anymore. You're right? We don't feel the earth beneath us, the harsh realities. So you feel that's great every time you levitate, you know, and like the tallest trees always fall the hardest. And that's why it's so important to remain humble when rising, to remember your value system, to remember your morals, and to stick to those as you rise. Because then, I mean, those are the roots for your ascent. But if you build them on a weak root and weak foundations, right, eventually, as you get higher, right, the conditions will get tougher. And when it blows you over, you have no real foundation. And then the fall is going to be that much more painful, right? Because you haven't felt the ground for too long. You haven't been grounded for a while. And it'll bring you back down to earth, man. This hook though. This song. Awesome. Love the song, man. I think the song is absolutely epic. All of the Alter Bridge reactions have been absolutely epic. I also love the fact that he's tied this into love. Because yes, love is unbelievably important, but love is also very much tied to a value structure, right? And a virtue. It's a virtue essentially. Loving somebody, but also not to be misconstrued that, you know, love is not all just about compassion and being nice and things like that. Love can also mean that you have got to be cruel at times. Do you know what I mean? That is love, and that's one of the things that we're not understanding in today's world, is we think that love and compassion is about letting people do whatever they like, right? With no restraint. If you cannot restrain yourself, right, from doing certain things, then you're completely and utterly useless, right? You're completely and utterly useless. What gives you virtue, right, is the fact that you can stand by a certain set of standards and values, right, and restrain and have some restraint from the things that you know that are bad, and not make excuses for why you do those things, or try to sort of remove your value structure so that you don't feel guilty about doing those things. Right? Love for yourself is very tied to that, and at times it may feel like it's a bit hectic and it's a bit harsh, right? Because you really want to do certain things and you really want to chase your temptations and you want to feel good and you want to chase the cheap happinesses, right? But also the fundamental of it is that you need to be hard on yourself, and that is loving yourself, is being able to actually put some guardrails where you know that if I step out of these guardrails, right, I might feel better for a little bit. I might go and dabble in these temptations. at the end of the day, but the consequences are literally going to come right back around, and they're going to slap you straight in the face, right? Because that's just the nature of the world. That is how things are, right? Restraint is a very big thing. Just because we want to do something doesn't mean we should do something. Just because I find a woman attractive and she finds me attractive doesn't mean that I can just go and be like, oh well, you know, I really want to just have an affair with her. Do you know what I mean? I know it's fundamentally wrong. It's wrong to the person I am with, right? And loving myself is sticking to that virtue, that I don't go chase that temptation, right? So yeah, anyway, I love you all, man. Please stay safe, please stay healthy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.